Hello, everyone. We'll be getting started with the live Q&A webinar shortly. We're going to just wait a few minutes to help ensure that everyone who's registered gets a chance to join. In the meantime, feel free to tell us where you're coming in from and what kind of work you oversee. It's always nice to get know you a little bit better in these sessions. Awesome, from Sacramento, California, with an escape room. Absolutely love escape rooms. I may or may not have completed a few myself. Alice from New York City, welcome, with a wonderful coffee shop. It's very convenient that I can connect here. Love coffee, love a nice French press. Wonderful, welcome everyone. It looks like our attendance has evened off here. So excited to have you all. My name's Tiffany and I'm joined by my team member, Cara. We're part of the onboarding team here at When I Work, and our goal is to help get new users up and running with When I Work scheduling and attendance tools. Myself and Cara have been with When I Work for a long time and have seen accounts for a wide variety of workplaces and industries from all over the world. So no matter your workplace needs, I am sure our team has seen something similar and that we can help get you and your team set up for success. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to be answering your questions about When I Work scheduling and attendance tool. We're going to show you some great ways you can save time creating the schedule, managing timesheets, and communicating with your team. We're going to get to as many questions as we can during this time, but if your question does not get answered and you'd like further help, you can always chat with us after. We're going to be providing more information at the end of the session on how to get in contact with us, so stick around for that. This session is centered around your questions. To ask us a question, you're going to go ahead and click the Q&A button on your toolbar and type your question. Cara is going to be going through and asking some of those questions out loud so we can demonstrate them in our When I Work account. Also, depending on where we are in the session, she might rearrange or type out the answers to some questions, but we're going to be sure to get to as many questions as possible in this time. And with that, I'm going to switch over to my When I Work account here and give a quick overview of navigating the web app. Awesome. So here we are in my When I Work account. I am logged in currently as the admin. There can be 3 admins to every account, and that just gives you the most access possible, everything from your account and billing to settings, setting up your employees. So right here we have our dashboard page. This gives you a nice snapshot of what's going on today. Gives you some attendance notices here, how many assigned shifts are happening for your separate positions, few worked labor cost options and graphs. If your pay period's complete, you can go from here to close out the pay period, and just a nice little forecast of what's been going on and where you might be at. Our next page is the scheduler here in the top navigation bar. This is where you can assign employee shifts, and you're going to see all your employees. This is going to be your bread and butter to get everyone on your account knowing what time they work and where they're working. This is our attendance tab right here. This is going to go over our timesheets, which are where all of your worked hours are located. We've got a nice time tracker, which also gives you a little snapshot of who's clocked in, who's on lunch. Really great overview of where everyone's at. In this same tab, you can also clock in from a computer here if you've got that permission turned on. And you can also lock this as a terminal, which sets the web browser somewhere that employees use their email or employee ID to clock in. And our next option here is our work chat feature. This is where you can communicate with your team on a daily basis. Super helpful for you to get out announcements, Send anything you need to your employees, and they can also use this from their end if you've got it set up to chat with each other, to work out their own personal scheduling needs, maybe swap some shifts and figure out what they need as well. Our next menu is our requests menu. This is where you can request time off for yourself or your employees. You can also review all of the time off requests that have come in, and you can approve those and manage those as needed. This is our shift requests. That's going to cover all the requests your employees are sending in for their swaps, their drops, and their releasing of open shifts. And then our open shift requests are going to allow you to approve the employee you want for an open shift you released to them previously. And this is our workplace menu. These are the building blocks of your When I Work account. It's going to be a super important menu for you to be using here in the beginning while you're getting set up. You get to input employees here, create positions, set up tags, create some additional schedules and job sites, as well as your shift templates. And we've got our great reports feature here that lets you export anything we have to offer from our When I Work account. This is your task list option, as well as our documents you can upload for employees to review. And then this is our gear menu here, and that has all the settings you're going to need for your account, your general, your scheduling settings, your attendance settings, as well as all the integrations we offer. This little page here is going to let you get those set up, as well as access your account and billing page. The last menu we have here is going to be your personal menu, basically. This goes over your profile settings. You can view your own personal schedule, set up your availability, the alert preferences you want, and if you have multiple workplaces, this is where you're going to switch those accounts. Awesome. So that's the general things that we have for When I Work. Let's get into some of your great questions.
Wonderful. Hi, everybody. My name is Cara, and I am going to be going through your questions today. So our first question is from Ira. Can I add my manager so they can also create the schedule?
Great question. Absolutely. Let's go over adding an employee and look at a couple of our access levels and what that means. So we're going to scroll over our workplace menu here and select employees. So these are all the employees that I have already added. If you need to add a new one, you can go ahead and do that right here. So looking inside a profile, we're going to click this pencil icon to edit it. And we've got the Shifty Schedule Maker as an employee here. They are already set as an admin, which gives them the same permissions that I currently have in this account. I've got access to everything, including billing, settings, employees, creating shifts, managing timesheets. Our other options are going to be manager, supervisor, and employee. Managers have a little bit less access than the admin. They cannot access your account and billing page. They have access to most of the settings on the account. There are a few that they either need to be given special permissions for or that the admin only has access to. Supervisors have less permissions there. They're only able to oversee employees that share the same schedule as them. They do not have access to settings and they cannot see wages. And employees, it's all about them here. They only see what they are assigned. They can update their availability. They can review their shifts. They can see their timesheets. So they just have the least amount of access, as it should be. And those are the different options that you have. So you'll be able to add your manager in easily with their email. They get a nice invite. They set that up. And then once you have this permission set for them, when they log in, they're going to be able to create shifts, see some settings, etc. And we have a great help article, which you can find over here in our Need Help Center. You just go ahead and type in access or permissions in this search bar. It's going to go over what every access level has permissions for in a beautiful breakdown grid.
Super. Our next question is on the employees page as well from Michelle. How do I change a user's email?
Great question. So this one's super fun. So let's take a look here at my personal profile. As you'll see, I don't have this little email icon, which means that I have set up my email and password. When you open this up, you're going to see that it's cut out or blocked. You cannot update an employee's email for them if they have already set up their username and password. So the best options are really going to be from that employee's end, whether that's logging in to update their own or to create an entirely new login by clicking sign up on our initial When I Work page. When they click sign up, they're going to sign up with that new email they want, and they're going to see the option to request to join your workplace. Now, if they do have this nice invite icon right here to the right of their name, you're going to go in, you're going to edit their profile. My apologies here. Looks like some of these already have a bunch set up. So if they have an email invite here, you can open that up and change the email at any time, and that's going to send out a new invite for them.
Fantastic. All right, our next question. Looks like we have a lot of time clock questions coming in today. So let's just jump right into it with what kind of time clocks we offer.
Great question. And I did want to note that with the employee emails, if you guys have any questions, your employees needs help, we have a great customer care team that can get them all set up for you. All right, so let's go over our clock-in options. These are some of our favorite features that we offer, and we're going to go head into the settings to take a look at what options we've got. So you're going to scroll over this gear icon here, and you're going to go ahead and click on those attendance settings. And the first option you're going to see is to clock in with the mobile app. It's going to allow your employees to log in after they've downloaded our app, and they're going to see a nice clock in button first thing on their dashboard page. You can restrict those mobile clock ins to make sure they're at work where they're supposed to be by clicking this option here. And any changes that you make on our settings page, make sure you click save to apply those. Our next option is clock in with a personal computer. As we saw earlier, that option is going to be right under our attendance menu. Employees are going to log in on a computer with their own email and password, and they'll scroll over their attendance tab and go ahead and click clock in. Now, the other option we have is a lock terminal. This is also can be on a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, or an Android tablet device. And what that's going to be is they're going to see a screen that will not give them access to anything else in the When I Work app. And it allows them to put their email in or their employee ID you can set up for them. And that's just going to go directly to the attendance tab where you can check out their times. It's a great time to take a look at our attendance tab quickly. So when I scroll over this attendance tab here and I click some timesheets, you're going to see that my employees have their worked hours here. Anybody that already has worked hours in your pay period are going to be a little bit of a darker color here. These light gray ones, they just haven't logged any time for the week. So we're taking a look at Jordan. He clocked in at 10, clocked out at 3 p.m. He had a 30-minute break here, which you'll see with this hamburger icon. He was at the location, Shifty's Coffee and Bakery, as a barista. So when you're reviewing these timesheets, if you scroll over the details, you're going to see a few more options here. One of those is going to be our entry history. So when you click on this, you're going to see the day that it was created, who created it, times it was created, and if they clocked in on mobile, if they clocked in on a computer, if it was a locked terminal, as well as any edits that happen. And for our mobile clock-ins, you're also going to get a nice map from that clock in for the day. The other couple of options here, it adds some more unpaid breaks. Also with the hamburger icon, you can add a job site, which might be a separate location from what this Shifty Coffee and Bakery was. And then you can add these notes right here. When employees clock in and out, they are prompted to leave a note, which is optional. And that'll show up here as that if they enter that. And then you can also enter a note about that as needed. So that covers all of our awesome clock-in options, how that looks on the timesheets page for you. And as always, if you have any questions about those, our Need Help Center is right here, and you can contact us as well if you have any specific questions.
Wonderful. All right. Our next question is from Brad, and he wants to know about the break options that we offer with attendance. How can employees record their breaks?
Awesome question. So we have a few different options for breaks, and I'm going to head back to those attendance settings there in this gear menu. And as we scroll down, you're going to see a nice break section. So when employees clock in from any method, The next time, if this option is on, the next time that they, on a terminal, if they put in their email again, they're going to see the option to take a lunch break or to clock out. On the mobile device, you're going to see two options, clock out or take a break. And then that's going to be the same with this computer option. When you click clock in or clock out, there's going to be a take lunch break here. So letting employees record their unpaid breaks, this is going to give them a nice app. That's going to give them the button in the app for them to use. Another option is our automatically deduct unpaid breaks when they're scheduled. This means if they've got a scheduled shift and you'd put the unpaid break amount of minutes into that shift, if they don't clock out for lunch, that's going to be taken automatically from their timesheets for them. If they do use that take lunch button, then that overrides the auto deduct. And then asking employees about paid rest breaks. Once they clock out for the day, it's going to give them the option to say yes or no. If they say no, they can leave a reason why they did not get their paid rest breaks. And that's going to show up back in those timesheets if they've said no. So those are all our breaks options. Highly recommend the automatically deduct unpaid breaks because I know I like to forget sometimes to clock in and out, but it's really helpful for your employees to have that backup.
Wonderful. All right. We're going to make a pivot back to the scheduler here with a bit of a plan question to start out. Ash asks, can you use the scheduler feature alone?
Absolutely. So we're definitely going to go over our plans at the end and what that all entails. But you don't necessarily need these clock in and out options with our time and attendance plan if that's just not right for your business. So when we head back to the scheduler here, you're going to see a lot of stuff going on that we're happy to go over. Love to get into creating shifts. There's so many things that are going to help you guys save time. So you don't need those time clock and attendance features unless that's right for you.
Super. All right. Our next question is from Sam. How does scheduling work with shifts that aren't the same for all employees? Example, everyone is working different shifts rather than a standard set of shifts. So I'm thinking going over the shift scheduling process and how maybe to speed that up with shift templates.
Gotcha. Awesome. Since you guys are all most people are getting started, we're going to go head over to our shift templates page in our workplace menu here. So you can see what I recommend setting up first here. So under our shift templates, you're going to see what probably is an average day for this wonderful cafe we've got running. So you can see we got a bunch of different options for those times, 6 a.m. to 10 with the barista position, but then also a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. as a cashier. Kind of breaks up the day here. You can create as many of these as you want with as many different positions as needed. We're always happy to help you to decide what's best when setting up. So once you've got some great templates going on, you can go back to this scheduler page up here. And as you see, I've got a few shifts already going on. Let's go over how to create one. So we've got this great grid here. You've got your employees' names in the columns. These are employee names in the rows, and then you've got your dates in the columns here. So if I want to make a nice shift for Keith here for today, I needed some extra coverage. I'm going to click on this plus sign. You can also click anywhere in the cell, and that's going to bring up your option to add a template, which is what we just went over creating. Or if he needs to work a little bit different of a shift, maybe a mid shift that we didn't have created as a template, we can go ahead and click create custom shift. So that's going to show me it's going to be assigned to Keith. We can enter our times here, as well as an unpaid break, make any color changes to make it look pretty. A position option here. So this is based on what you've assigned your employees to in their employee profile on that employees page where I showed you all how to add an employee and went over those access levels. And this is going to be our job site here, which might be where he's working for the day. And if he doesn't have a job site, that's going to defer to the schedule location. These tags are an extra qualifier. So say that he can be a barista, but he can only work in you only need need it for your food truck drivers. It's just going to make sure that that shift is only qualified for certain people and really applies well to our open shifts, which I can go over here in a minute. You can also add some shift tasks as needed. Looks like Keith might need to clean the bathroom today. Any shift notes you have, you can input what you expect from your employees, maybe some notes about if they're going to a separate building, anything that you need here that your employees should be aware of. And then you can also repeat any shifts. This is one of our great shortcut options, and I'm going to caveat right into that after I show you guys how to create a shift. So you can select it to repeat between every week all the way up to every 6 weeks. And then you can select a nice end date when you want that to stop repeating. When you're done setting everything up, you're going to click save. So repeating shifts was one of those great shortcuts that I love. A couple of other shortcuts that we have are copying a shift from one day to another or to a different employee. On a Mac computer, you're going to go ahead and hold your command button and you're going to click on that shift and you can drag it and drop it wherever you may need it. Thumbs up means that employee is assigned to that barista position. Thumbs down means they're not. We can go ahead and copy that into our open shifts row. Another option for our wonderful shortcuts is going to be located in this wrench icon up here, and that's copy previous week. So say I have everything and I love the way it looks and I want to put that into next week. You're going to go ahead and click this arrow and head into our next week. I'm going to collapse this open shift menu here so we can see a little more there. So now I'm going to click this wrench icon and I'm going to select copy previous week. It's going to give you some options on how you'd like to do that. I'm going to go ahead and overwrite conflicts, which means if someone already has a shift, it's not going to give them that shift from last week. Copy that in. And there you have it. You just brought every shift from last week over into this week, and you're ready to go and make any changes you need before publishing. The last shortcut we have, which is probably my favorite, we're going to click this wrench icon, and you're going to save as a new template. That means that everything here is basically being copied, but copied forever, so that I can go to any week that I want, use this wrench icon and click load template, and that template's going to be ready for me. Do this years in the future, whenever you absolutely need. So I touched on some open shifts. We're going to go back to the today's schedule where I set that open shift. So open shifts are there so your employees can pick them up first come, first served initially. So that when I publish this, I need that covered, but I don't want to assign it to anybody. Anybody that's eligible for our barista position would be able to pick this up. And then I've got that covered. Now, if you want to be a little more selective on who picks those shifts up, you can edit any unpublished open shift here with this little edit icon, and you can select require pickup approval. And that means that all of my baristas can say they would like to take this shift, and then I get to choose who gets it in the end. So these are some really great shortcuts that we have to offer. We touched on our open shifts. So if you guys have any questions about this or need a little more one-on-one time, chat with us after this.
Wonderful. Our next question, does the scheduling tool provide insight into how many people can be scheduled for lunch at a time? Does the manager have control over scheduling breaks? I was just thinking about going over breaks on the scheduler and the different ways that you can manage those break times for employees.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. So with each shift, as we saw, when you scroll over and edit, it's got this nice unpaid break time. So while there's not a specific time listed for those, there's a couple of ways that you can manage that. I have a few ways that I like to recommend this if you need a specific break time set for everybody. You can input those break times here into those shift notes. And if you need it to be a little more formal, the two other options that I recommend is we've got this 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift here. So I would create 2 shifts for these employees. So let's say this might not apply to you, but they have a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift, and apparently they're going to get a 5-hour break here because their next shift wouldn't start till 3 p.m. In the case of a lunch, it's going to be shorter. So you can always edit this to be, say, 11. We're going to go ahead and save that. So now that that turned into a PM. My apologies. Let's pretend that's an AM. So they get a nice 1 hour break here with those 2 shifts that they can clock in and out for. The other option is, another 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift here. We're going to go ahead and do a create custom shift. And let's just say that their lunch break is from 8 till 9. Nope, sorry. 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. And so that second shift would just indicate the break, and you could create a shift that shows break for that. And now for you as a manager or your supervisors, we can go over that time tracker that I hit on just very slightly at the beginning. Under our attendance section here, you can select that time tracker from the drop-down menu. And you've got our nice little legend over here. So if somebody's already on a lunch break, it's going to show up in a nice green color for you. And that can help you manage who you send on breaks during the day. So those are just a few ways to manage breaks. And if you guys want to work out a better all the options together, I'm here for you, and we can chat about this after.
Super. All right. I want to be sure to get to these last few questions here. Thanks everybody for joining us today and sticking with us. We know that your time is very valuable, so we appreciate it. Our next question is from Shannon. I was just wondering about releasing versus dropping a shift. Is the employee still responsible for the shift until it's picked up when they release, like they are from when they're dropping a shift?
Great question. Let's go over to our settings again. In this gear menu, we're going to select our scheduling settings here. Employee shift coverage is the first thing you're going to see, and it does give you a little insight right under those options as to how that works. Releasing is going to actually physically drop their shift into the open shift row on the scheduler page that we went over. And that means they are not responsible. You've let them release that shift, and now it's up to management to find coverage or do as they will with those shifts. Now, dropping shifts keeps the employee responsible for that shift until another person picks it up. The same with swapping. If they trying to swap a shift, they are still responsible for their original shift until another employee has approved that. Require manager review. That lets you say, yes, I want you to be able to swap this shift, and we will get you coverage for that. And splitting allows employees to choose what times they want to drop. Maybe they can work in the morning but can't work in the afternoon anymore, so they can drop that for you. So once again, releasing means that they're not responsible for that shift anymore. It goes straight into the open shift row. Make that really good if they've got approved time off going on. Whereas dropping the shift allows another employee to pick it up kind of without your, with you helping there in the middle to make sure they're covered and everything.
Wonderful. All right. Last question is from Jody. Is there a way to post a specific day on the scheduler that your employee is on vacation? So just showing how to add time off from the scheduler.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the schedule, we're going to head over to the scheduler page here. So while you're viewing this, you're going to use that requests tab here. I'm going to go ahead and request time off. Now it's got your name listed there, but you can always select your employees. You can select multiple employees, or you can put everyone there. So let's say everyone's going to have some time off. You can select the type, which can be customized on those general settings page. We already offer holiday, personal, and sick as types of time off. And when I work, you can make those unpaid or paid, and you have the option to manage which ones your employees can choose. You can have an all-day preference, or if you select this, then they get to put in those specific times. With an all-day preference, when you select it, make sure when you have a paid type that you put in those hours there, or your send request options going to be unavailable. So this is where how you're going to put in time off for your employees, and just for the ease here, we're going to put one in for today with 8 paid hours, and I'm just going to do one person. And I'm going to send that request. As an admin, this is automatically approved when you submit this for yourself or your employees. So now you can see right here, I have time off all day. All right, have a nice day, everyone. I am out, just kidding. And then if you want more details on that time off request that came through, you can click view and it's gonna give you those options there. Really quick and easy to put in time off for your employees. And then it gives you a great view as you're scheduling who's got time off so that you can adjust your schedule as needed.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I think it is time to go over our plans and how they can get in contact with us.
Awesome. Sounds great. I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to our wonderful slideshow. If I can get to the right page, I think I've got it. There we go. All right, let's go over the plans that we have available. The first one up is our small business scheduling plan, which includes all of those features we went over today, including access to the scheduler, team availability, communication tools like work chat, notifications and group emailing, as many schedules and job sites as you would like, and those more advanced features like auto scheduling, task management, and some shift bidding. The small business plan is a good fit for workplaces with less than 100 employees. If your workplace exceeds 100 employees, we also do have an enterprise plan available with all of the same features included as the small business plan, in addition to some features specifically designed to accommodate larger teams like single sign-on, global privacy, and access to the API. If you're interested in those enterprise features, feel free to reach out to us after this session and we can provide more information. If none of the enterprise features are necessary for you and your team, you can also use that small business plan beyond 100 employees. There's not a hard cap on that employees settings for that plan. And next up, we have our attendance product. This product's an optional add-on to the scheduling plan that includes all of the time tracking features we went over today, like timesheets, access to all the clocking methods, GPS location enforcement for clocking in, paid and unpaid break options, custom timesheet exports, and access to any of our other integrations. If you log into your account on the web, you can mock up the pricing for a plan by heading to the account and billing page, found under the gear menu on the toolbar. On that page, press upgrade my account, and then you can toggle everything on that you'd like, set everything for your account with or without time clock and attendance. You can also set up an annual billing. By default, we offer a monthly billing cycle, but the switch for annual billing can be enabled at any time. The annual billing also provides a 5% discount compared to the monthly billing cycle if you're looking to use When I Work long term. If you have any questions about what plan is the best fit for you or any of the features that we provide, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on chat. You can access that chat option by pressing the chat icon in the bottom right of your account. You can also send us an email to gettingstarted@wheniwork.com. Cara is also going to be sending a list of resources in the chat section we used earlier. Feel free to copy and paste that into a Word document or a Notes app to save it for later. That list has more information on getting started, plans and pricing, and training resources. Just want to wrap this all up by saying thank you guys so much for joining us today, and your questions were amazing. And please, again, don't hesitate to reach out to us if you guys need anything. We're here to help, and I hope everyone has a wonderful Thursday and a fantastic weekend.